the midterm election's now over, and the Senate in the hands of Democrats. And by the way, if Raphael Warnock beats Herschel Walker, well, there could be a definite lead in the Senate. And so as a result, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is looking to codify the right to same-sex marriage and interracial marriage. Great. Okay, wonderful. Now, this is something, of course, progressives have been calling for. Yes, should have codified Roe. Apparently, Democrats seem to have learned their lesson on that and are now looking to codify same-sex marriage. And it's actually expected to pass. Now, hold on. Democrats haven't gotten rid of the filibuster, so that must mean they believe that they have enough Republicans on board to pass this. Now, that little fact has Ben Shapiro in a little bit of an uproar. Take a look.
They're now going to move ahead with a vote on a gay marriage bill. Now, what is the purpose of a gay marriage bill? There is no purpose to a gay marriage bill. Obergefell has already been ruled upon. And a simple gay marriage bill is not even a constitutional amendment. So it's not even above and beyond the Supreme Court ruling. The Supreme Court ruling is still the law. If the Supreme Court ruling were overturned, a quick majority in the Senate could quickly overturn this law. Okay, but the idea here is that you're going to get all the Republicans on record as to whether they support or do not support same-sex marriage. Now, let me just put this out there for the Republican senators. If you vote in favor of the idea that society has an obligation to recognize male-male or female-female dyads in the same way that society has an obligation to recognize male-female, you should not be in the Republican Party. You shouldn't. Okay, the reason I say this is not because I wish to shrink the size of the Republican Party, because if the fundamental basis of human society is male-female child, and you think that by passing a law you can change that reality, you do not belong in government. This is a very simple proposition. Men and men are not the same as a man and a woman who are capable of becoming one flesh and producing a child. This is not difficult stuff. Many Republicans will be tempted to vote for this simply to avoid the conflict, so that people don't yell at them. Oh my gosh, you're not respecting love is love. Now, first of all, the love is love argument was always bullcrap.
Keep melting down. Please. It's fun. So look, there's a lot in there. But first, let me get to more of the details, right? So now, Senator Tammy Baldwin, Senators Rob Portman, Suzanne Collins, Kirsten Sinema, Tom Tillis, they all issued a statement on Monday saying that they have reached a bipartisan deal. Baldwin also told reporters that they have 60 votes needed to overcome a Republican filibuster. So now, of course, the reason here, I got to mention that. And that's later in, because it kind of actually counteracts or contradicts Ben Shapiro's points about this. So now, for one, Ben Shapiro keeps conflating legal marriage with the biblical definition. It's really hilarious how they think it's the same thing. First of all, marriage in the legal sense is basically a legal partnership, a legal document, okay, conferring certain rights upon couples. I mean, that's very simple. It's a legal contract. Then there's also religious marriage, which is a ceremony. And so obviously there's going to be different customs. For example, a biblical type of marriage is different from a marriage based in Islam. Okay. So now here's the thing about right-wingers like Ben Shapiro. They want to ensure that their version of marriage, what they call biblical marriage, applies to all marriages, saying that, well, since the Bible says we can't have, gay people get married because, it's just because they can't produce a child. No, you're a bigot. Let's just be honest about it, okay? It doesn't have anything to do with children. By the way, they can also adopt. They're saying, well, since they can't do the, make children or anything like that, well, then I guess we just have to ban it because, we have to make sure that gay people can't get married. No, that's really dumb. We don't all follow your religion, Ben. Because we're a secular country and we shouldn't be following anyone's religion. That's the whole point of a secular country. But he doesn't, again, I think he understands that he's not a stupid person. He's just a bigot. He don't like gay people and doesn't think that they're deserving of equal rights under the law. His argument that it's not needed. Oh, we really don't need to do, anything like this. Why are we even doing this? I mean, Obergefell is, it's the law of the man. Yeah, you said the same thing about Roe. Look what happened. It's been 50 years trying to get rid of it. What are you going to try another 50 years to get rid of Obergefell? All they're doing is waiting for a challenge to it. That's what they're doing. The goal is to bring a challenge to the Supreme Court, which is majority conservative. But here's the thing. We do have a system of checks and balances, believe it or not. One is actually having Congress be able to override a judicial decision. Now, that said, it has to be on statutory grounds, not constitutional grounds. Now, the right, which is interesting because the right is trying to claim that same-sex marriage violates their First Amendment, their religious freedom. Now, it doesn't. You'd actually have to find some standing with that. But Obergefell is also guaranteed on the 14th Amendment, the Equal Protection Clause. So I don't see anybody having standing when it comes to same-sex marriage, harming the institution of marriage itself. So that's why he goes and pivots to try to make the argument that, oh, well, it hurts society. How does it hurt society? How does it hurt society, Ben? Oh, well, you're having two men and not being able to produce a child because it's all about the babies. It's all about the babies. Babies. The planet just passed 8 billion people, right? I think we have enough people around. We have enough babies. Okay? And look, I guess we have even more if we're counting Ben Shapiro because he sure is acting like a baby right now. That said, this bill anticipates such a challenge on those grounds. In fact, the language and the reason they were able to get Republicans on board is adding an amendment, which reads that the language fully respects and protects Americans' religious liberties and diverse beliefs while leaving intact the core mission of the legislation to protect marriage equality. The amendments would protect nonprofit religious organizations from providing services in support of same-sex marriage, would also protect religious liberty and conscience protections under the Constitution and federal law. It's not perfect, but apparently it seems to be designed to stop challenges from the court if they were able to find someone withstanding, or if just they were able to make up somebody withstanding. So, that said, Ben knows this. That's why Ben Shapiro is very, very mad. He's very unhappy about this. He and other Republicans want to continue to fight the culture wars against the LGBTQ plus community. Which leads me to the moral argument, right, that he's trying to make. Well, the Love's Law argument, that's all BS. Is it though? Is it, Ben? No, it does matter. It does matter because guess what? It's freedom. You believe in freedom, Ben? Obviously you don't. Not unless it's your freedom to come after the rights of marginalized people for clicks for your stupid show. No, it's all BS. I don't like it. Babies. We need babies. No, guess what, Ben? There's always going to be babies. Okay? The world population, as I said, 8 billion people being born. Obviously, oh, right. The final layer to this is the fact that, of course, people like Ben Shapiro and the right wing in general only want certain kinds of babies born. And guess what kind that is? After all, that's what all these attacks on reproductive freedom, as well as all these attacks on women, and on these attacks on gay people, and trans people, it's what it comes down to. White Christian nationalism.